Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodities Report, and starting with the 10-year government yields here. We've been looking at this in terms of an A wave, a B wave and a C wave to come down. Now this move through here as an A and a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave here to make the B, and then the turn down. So obviously we've got the Fed's rates in the next session, so things can get a little bit hectic at that particular point. But this move here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that should top out in line with the US dollar as well. So we'll be looking at that next. But it is possible to put wave 4 over here in some, based on this particular pattern here as an A and a B and a C down to here. So it could climb a little bit higher and take that third, fourth and fifth wave up here. The 30-year yields haven't made a new low here. So when we look at the 30-year yields here, you can see how they're not, they haven't really made that low. So it gives a good case for them to pull down here in that instance. When we look at and the same with, the 2 years, the shorter end of the curve is a little bit different. So we were looking at this being an A wave. Let's see that in 3 waves here. So a little ABC here, then another ABC. So an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for a B wave, and then a C wave down. For us Australians who just put up their rates and don't mind putting them up further, their correction here as a wave 3, 4 is complete, and we're going up here for another move up here. But this has got a slightly different count than the US markets in the bigger picture. But anyway, it's just good to see. So in terms of the US dollar, we've been looking at it as an A and a B and a C wave here. And then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I believe that wave 4 is actually finished now. The stochastics are kind of suggesting that as well. And then a push up for wave 5 in that space there. Now we're pretty short of the 50-60%. So, but I think I'm okay with that because the dollar yen has got the same pattern as the A, the B and the C here, and it's up in the 50-60% and so on at that point. So in this instance here, let's just go to the 2K from 1 day chart to 2000 and just pick it up on that wave 4 there. And this wave 4 here, wave 3, we know it's an A and a B and 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave and fifth wave. So I think the low for that is in, and we'll be looking for a move to the upside at this point. Now, obviously, if we do push up here, the US dollar affects other commodities in various ways and to different degrees, some more accurate than others. So the euro dollar will be doing the opposite to this, and so on. So so anyway, we'll just keep an eye on it as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. So this would be, when we get up here, this would be the time to buy gold at that point. So gold is doing the opposite as well. It's in a wave 4 on the flip side. So yeah. So with that in mind, the dollar yen doing the same thing. So we've been tracking a triangle pattern here. This has been a little bit common also in gold as well, this particular pattern. So gold, US spot gold, will be breaking to the downside in 5 waves while the dollar yen pushes up here for this. So that's where that is. And we can see in the bigger picture here, like the Dixie came down and made a new low here on this one, but it's got the same turning dates and top and all that. So an A and a B and a C up into this space to finish off here. I think everything's okay here. The only problem is this wave 4 overlapping wave 1 here. You could go into your WXYs to the cows come home really on that one, but yeah, we just got to kind of line it up with everything else. And I think I've got everything sort of the big bowl of jelly is kind of all wobbling in the same way. So I think we're on the right track. So the the cable here, we're looking for just a little 5 waves up here. It's sort of doing its own sort of thing at this point. We could have this as a B wave here. I do need it to take out the top here just to validate that situation. Otherwise, we'll have to bring this wave 1 in over here. And I don't think I can do that because I think I've counted, once again, this little move in here has been a little bit dodgy rama. So 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, and then the fifth. So yeah, you could pull me up on that for sure. But anyway, we don't have to do anything at this particular stage. We'll just allow this to top and drop, and then we'll pick up the retest and short it for the longer term at that point. So yeah, look, this could be an ABC up here for that, finishing up here for that. So but it doesn't really matter. We don't have a trade set up for that as well. So the euro as well, we could actually have a top in here, but this is doing the opposite to the dollar, so we'll be coming down at that point. This is also a little bit, it looks quite simple, but it's actually a little bit tricky to count. So we could actually have this wave 4 top in here already for this. So I'm not quite sure about that. But I want to see the first impulse wave to move down on that first before we do anything there. So no trade here. But the thing is markets are setting up things. We are long in the ETF FXA here as an ETF for the Australian dollar. But otherwise, you know, the bigger picture here, we've got wave 2 in place, and we're going up for wave 1. As I mentioned yesterday, I might need to lift it up another degree here. Now, once again, we could also have the top in here as well, or we'll need to wait for one more little move here. I'm not that fast because I just want the ABC pullback so we can buy more. But the bigger picture here, as I've mentioned on the daily chart, puts us in a really good position for this market. So we'll be looking at, you know, quite a change in trend here. That's why we're looking, you know, one of the reasons, this is not the only reason, but one of the reasons that we're looking for the, you know, the US dollar to have this wave 2. It's rallying in a wave 2, you know, so then we'll move into wave 3 to the downside, and we'll move up here in wave 3, 4, and 5 up here for this. So that's, you know, we want to catch this you know, this move in here for this market. So that's the scope of it, the size of it, and the importance of it at this particular point. And this is a commodity dollar, so it's telling you that, you know, this is a way that folks outside Australia can you know, can get into the commodity market, really, you know. I have to check on the loonie, see what that is. Rightio, so that's the currencies at this point. So as I mentioned with the dollar yen, this correction here is, you know, for the thing is really the same as this here in reverse here for the dollar yen. So that's where all that is, and so forth. So we should see US spot gold. Basically, we're just looking for, I'm not going to pay too much attention just yet, but as the days and hours tick on, we will be focusing in on this low here to start building to the upside over here. Now, this will also be the same for, you know, the gold stocks. So I will have a bit closer look at some of the gold stocks, especially for the Australian. So we can check on the ABXs and things as well. But yeah, this is sort of where we are. We've been laboriously wading through here, haven't we? You know, we've been patient, and yeah, look, you could, you know, this will be wave 1 here. I haven't pulled it apart. You could probably short wave 2 if you wanted to catch wave 3 for the, you know, for the short-term traders. But I want to nail the low down, and then I want to get the first impulse wave to the upside, and then we're going to have a look at the ABC correction here, because we're going to use the ABC pattern here to manage our risk. Because if we get 5 here, that means we'll get 5 over here, and that means we can set that up for the entry with the stop under here. And the first job, well, in my mind anyway, as a trader, is to half that initial risk. So risking 1% of your capital, and then straight away, as soon as that gets triggered, we can go to 0.5%. So then we're done at that point. We're not done. We haven't got to break even is the next step after that. Now, sometimes it's okay to move the stop up to the break even point. Other times it's better to take some money off the top to get to break even and make a little bit of money, because what will happen is that we'll get 5 waves here, and then we'll get another ABC to come back, checking the demand of the whole thing, you know, so we'll be back here. So taking some money off the top here, and that will load us up for the next lot, and then we can move in here on the next little wave 1 and ABC here for 2, and then keep building. If you're trading stock without leverage, then it doesn't matter too much. You know, we can approach that a little bit differently, but leverage is a double-edged sword, and this is a leverage market and yada, 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 but we'll be looking at GDX as well. Now, GDX has got a slightly different situation, so is silver, but I reckon they'll just sort of fold back here as well with that. So we've been looking at it as wave 1 up here for GDX, and it can be okay, you know, the as wave 1 here, the A wave, the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for wave 4 yesterday. It's pretty high, didn't trigger us in above wave 2, and then we've got this little move down here. So we'll see how this goes. It looks like wave 1 here, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So looks still looks like we need a 4 and a 5 here to finish off. But you know, the whole thing could just come down here with the rest of the market as well, and then we'll have to move that wave 2 over here for this, and we'll look at that, all of this as a bad dream, and label it a wave 4, and we'll work it again from rinse and repeat from over here, and then move up from that point. So we're doing all the right things at the right time, you know, so not a big deal, but that's where we are. Silver's much the same as well, but I just cleaned this chart up here. I know we've been in and out with this a few times, but you know, we could look at it as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then an ABC to come back here and then push up at that point. So I'll keep a bit of an eye on that. Otherwise, we'll need to look at this slightly differently here as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for wave 2, and then we go up. So anyway, don't worry about this. I'll sort it out along the way. We're not ready to go on that just yet. So that brings us over to the base metals, and this is high-grade copper here. This particular trend here is really not very nice. So I've been using this other one over here, and this is copper here. Futures here rather than the high grade US copper. So this is 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2, then a little 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, 4th and 5th for the third. So 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third, 4th, 5th for the wave 1, then an A and a B and a C wave here. So I'm just waiting to see if we're getting an impulse wave here. And one of the things that I wanted to, you know, establish is what effect the dollar will have on all of this, you know. I mean, this could still be an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and then wave 2 comes in over here, you know. So there's a little bit that can still play out here. Let's try to get some of these tools working. So we could get something like this here and then move up as well. So I'm aware of a few things here, but, you know, we have talked about moving into BHP and those type of stocks at that point. So I might just come back to this chart, but that's that at the moment. So the next one is nickel. So we were looking for nickel to have a bit of an A and a B. I can put that in there, and a C wave up here. You know, I'm not that interested in this. It may trend and get away on me on all of this. So what I was going to do is I'll let this just run for a while. If we get 5 waves up here and we get to the top there, then we can go long anything above that. Okay, so but I need to move past this here as an ABC correction. I can see how I can tighten everything up in here, but I don't really, you know, we haven't made a new low below here, so still kind of looking for that a little bit. There's a few things here. We were looking at IGO, which is an Australian company. Let me just go in there and have a look at that nickel here for that, because I did want to keep an eye on it, and we talked about it a bit here. This is just really for the down under dudes. So yeah, so it's looking quite good at this point. We're looking at 1 and two here, as an A and a B and a C here, then 1 and 2, and then we're kind of moving in here. I don't know if we're on the 15 or the 5-minute chart. I just want to come back in here because we talked about a few things. So there's the drop, so that's what we were looking for. So that's where you can be long now. I'll just make that a pretty color just to make it all sort of official. And clone that, and can we move that down? I'm just going to put that there for the time being. Let's paint the town red on that and just leave that. I won't burn up too much time. But yeah, because we counted 5 waves up here, and wave 1 ABC for 2, 1 and 2. We wanted that other little one there. Sorry, I couldn't get you any closer, but it's all good. And what we'll do is we'll look to build on this over here. There's a fair bit to go because we need this wave 1 here and then back over here. But having this position here, we can build in over here with this and maybe take some money off the top up at 1550 and above. So that was that. That's copper. That's that. I do want to have a look at lithium a little bit. This is the stock that I'm in, USPLL here, Piedmont. I kind of like it because I understood that this was corrective in here, and I know that the correction could be bigger. As I've always mentioned, we could put wave B over here and wave C over here, and that's still possible as down for 1, back for 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, there's half a silly chance that it can move at this particular point in time. It is sort of moving off the way that it's sitting on that. The way that it comes down and just touches on the 50 here after gone through all of that is such a, this is such a heavy-handed sort of situation here, but then lightly, like a butterfly, touches that and then moves off from that. So I'm pretty excited about that at the moment. Am I out of the forest yet with this? No, not yet, but it's looking better and better all the time. So that's good. The other two here, this is the daily chart here. Whoops, a daisy. And this is the 2 Chinese stocks here, but this, looking at this, been trying to figure it out as the A, the B, and the C wave. I know that we're very close to the low here for this. It's just that I haven't quite pinned it down just yet, and but I have done a lot of work on it. It's just not an easy one to do. So if it gets back on the 65, then we've got green light for all lithium stocks. But we know that our Australian little buddies here have been moving quite well on the lithium front because they're all small enough to be gobbled up in the current situation. So that's nickel and lithium to a point. This is iron ore here. Now this is becoming really interesting because I've always looked at this as a corrective rally to the upside, as an A and a B wave and a C wave up here. But really I can put the C wave here for this and have that wave 2 in here. But otherwise I'll need to look at this as wave 4 here, put wave 3 over there and look at wave 5 and have 5 waves up. But it doesn't make any difference because I know what we're going to get at that number. We're going to get, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC pattern over here. This is going to help us go with the Rios and Vales and FMGs and all those sort of things. So all I wanted to say is it's starting to appear like we've got an impulse wave here and not a corrective wave at this point. Now, if copper's going to go up, we'll keep doing some more work on that, and we will maybe in the Australian video have a quick look at BHP and Rio and FMG soonish. And we'll come up with a bit of a strategy for those as well. So we need to edge into those at certain points in time. Now we come to the energy sector. And look, I have to say, I don't understand the crude or the gas. And to me, I'm just sort of, I can give you my opinion, but it wouldn't be any better than yours either, So we're in the sort of guessing land at things. I can say that, this is the stocks here, the XLE here, but I can say that we're in a corrective pattern. Okay, so I mean that's something, isn't it? Coming down from the top, we're not in an impulse wave, we're in a corrective pattern. Now, the corrective pattern is not finished, and this is the same for gas and for crude oil as well. Now, that said, we are 2/3 of the way through the correction, but at the same time, it's just a little bit tricky, that's all. This move here, it appears we've got this as 5 waves down here, so we can so I just think we've talked about this before. I think that we've got some sort of rally here and then another move down. That's what I think. And I think this is just a little, I mean, we could look at it as an ABC here, but even this as a C wave doesn't count very nicely here. So I'll probably have to go to the WXYs on all of this. But I just don't have a good thing on this. We've spoken about this before, and we're looking for a move up. We're getting the move up, and that's okay. We'll see how it sort of floats. But if we're going to get a move up here and then a move down, that's pretty much what the other markets will be doing as well. So if I look at crude here, we can get 5 waves out of this move down through here as a little wave 1 and 2 up here, but otherwise an A and a B and a C would also suffice for this as well. But either way, we could still look at as an A wave and then a B. So yeah, we have broken into a new low, and now we're testing $7 here again. Like I said, I think I don't see a strong enough move here to say this is this and that's that and this is what we need to do next. It's just not like that. This is the low here, and we've got, we can view this as a corrective pattern to the upside. We could look at that in a couple of different ways. The move down here appears to be corrective. So there's like 5 waves from here to here. So that would leave this one as some sort of ABC pattern here. So that's not very helpful. If that's corrective, then it can make all of this corrective as well. So an A wave, an ABC here, but then the C wave doesn't really play out very nicely in here either. Doesn't behave itself. I understand around large numbers things can get skewed around a little bit. So I don't know if we end up pushing up here in 5 waves and then come down. That's what I was kind of thinking. But we'll have to get above the 7 here first. I don't really know, actually. That's the truth of the matter. So I can't help with crude oil at this particular point as such. So I'll leave that there, and we come to, okay, we're over to the gas market. This is the United States Natural Gas Fund. So it's a little bit sort of different. In this case, I can see wave 3 here, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, ABC for 4 here. And then 5 waves down here. Not the best 5 waves in this case, but it's something. So we looked at this before, and I'd counted up as wave 5 up to this point. So we've had this ABC pattern and then this move up here. So it looks like it wants to pop up here again. So we'll probably end up getting some sort of support on this level, which would also give us a bit of a long trade setup. But if we can look at this like that, can we look at, let's just assume for a moment that, obviously this could just have an A wave. We could go the 5 waves as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, and then come down at that point, and pull back, 60, 150, 60% of this move here to continue us to the downside. I understand that, but we are sort of generally seeing a stronger bullish market, in the indices and all those sort of things. So they can kind of run together. Good times needs energy. So we've got to kind of figure out, are we going to be bullish here for this? So this is a natural gas fund here, just sort of clean things up a little bit. But obviously the futures has got a different pattern than this here. We could look at it a little bit differently. So this is it here, just on the, well, it's almost a daily chart, 50,000 ticks, but we can look at this in a couple of ways. We can look at it from the top. We could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for a C wave, and that's the low. And if that's the low, we could look at that as 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here. We could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So that means we'd be going up at that point. So if that is the case, then, we need to, like natural gas, we just said over here, we need to get the right things in place so we can go up. Now, we may not get very far, but we can, continue to move with that. So that would be a bullish picture as an A and a B and a C wave down here, because the other side of the coin is looking at this as 1 and 2 here. So wave 1 and 2, and then down for wave 3 here. And then would need to look at this as 4. Now, if we're looking at this as 4 here, then we could look at it in lots of different ways. We could look at it as a triangle pattern happening here, as an ABC for the A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, an E wave, and then drop here. We could see it like that, you know. So I don't know which way just yet. It's too early for me to tell. And, you know, I just need to be sort of, you know, upfront about it, really, the best I can, you know, and that's about the best I can do at the moment with this. So I don't really have any answers at this particular point for this market. But as things progress here, if we continue to see impulse waves in here and on the other one, then we'll look to move in on the long side here for this. So I won't go into this today. I've spent enough time on a few other things. So I think that I'll keep an eye on this, and I'll let you know if we can, you know, look to build in on this. That we've got time for it. I think the most exciting thing of all is the DXY, the US dollar and the yen, and that completing this particular structure here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, sure, it's going to take quite a while to do that, but to me, that's the most exciting thing. And then, of course, that puts you know, the gold market in this particular place over here. That will give this the 5 waves down here. So once we've got this here, and we can prove that we've got 5 waves to the upside, so we've got something to get our teeth into, that means that all the gold stocks are ready to go. We know that the gold stocks are in, you know, in a bigger bullish picture. So this would be the best trend to move into, plus the Australian dollar. It actually just opens up a whole can of opportunities, really. So yeah, I just think we just continue to be patient, let things fall into place. We've been patient through all of this. You know, we haven't sort of pushed any buttons and made any mistakes. And so I just think that, you know, this low and this low in gold, and the Australian dollar is going to come into this, and other currencies as well, and this moving up through here, we can play around with the 3rd wave or something, you know, on some of the markets. But yeah, I think this is we're approaching a situation here that's going to be really positive. This dollar coming down is going to be positive for commodities moving to the upside, the Australian dollar moving to the upside, gold moving to the upside. There's going to be some real good trends around. So I think that you need to put your thinking cap on and start to think about how you can, you know, what you would like to choose for long-term trends, you know. We're seeing them in stocks, you know, the Nvidias, the Apples. I mentioned Airbnb the other day. You know, there's some stocks that are really starting to trend to the upside. But now we've got the commodity side of things happening, and I'll just chuck the currencies in with that basket. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.